Shalom and welcome to Joshua Pearsall's Music Theory Corner. Bam! 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 Today we are going to be talking about the staff. And not just any kind of staff. We're not talking about the infection. We're not talking about the paid employees of a company. We're not talking about UF's all-male a cappella group, which I was in, which you should not look up. Don't you do it. Don't look it. No, we're talking today about the music staff, specifically the treble clef and the bass clef put together, which is called the grand staff. So, to begin, we must establish that each space and line is a specific note to itself. To find out where we are in this big old little world of grand staff, we got to go straight to middle C. Middle C is between the treble and the bass clef, the two most used clefs in all of modern music. The treble clef is usually for sopranos and altos when we're talking about vocal music, and bass for tenors and basses. Who would have thought? But that middle C right there, that is known as C4. That C is your ticket back home. That C is when you were lost in Walmart without your mother. That C will bring you right home. Something important to keep in mind is that there are 7 note names, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, and then repeats, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Say we're back on the staff, right back in middle C, and you go to the space above where middle C is, then you have D. Above that, which is the first line of the treble clef, you have E. Above that, you have F in that first space. Above that, you have G. And then you go to A on that second space. And then you repeat all the way up. And the same thing going down. Below middle C, you have B. Below that, you have A, which is the first line on the bass clef. Going downwards, that is. Below the A, you have a G. And then an F. And then you keep going all the way down. A good thing to keep in mind is when you get lost, when you're first learning the staff and learning where all the notes are, you can go right to the treble clef. You see that big thing? That big old G-looking thing? Well, the line right in the smack dab middle of that G-looking thing is the G line. G-looking thing, G line. Bam, you know where you are. Let's look at the bass clef. You know what it kind of looks like? Kind of looks like an F. And the line in between those two dots, you guessed it, that's an F, baby. Woo! So what happens when you get to the very top of that treble clef and the very bottom of that bass clef? Where does it go? Well, I'll tell you. I'm glad you asked. You just keep adding spaces and lines above it. These are what's called ledger lines. So you have the very top of that treble clef, an F line. Above that is a G, and then you add a line, a little bitty line right there. That's an A, baby. Let's go to the bottom of the bass clef. That little itty bitty line at the very bottom of that bass clef, that is a G. Below that is an F. And then below that, when you add that little ledger line, that's an E, baby. So now that we have this all laid out, let's go over some tips of how to navigate this quickly on the fly. Start with the treble clef. You see those spaces right there? Those spaces, those names? It spells face. And those lines of the treble clef, those are an acronym. Every good boy does fine. Every good boy does fine. Every good boy does fine. Every good boy. Now we go to the bass clef. All those spaces, A, C, E, and G. All cows eat grass. And those lines in the bass clef, G, B, D, F, A. Good boys do fine. Always good boys do fine. Always good boys do fine. So there you have it. That's the grand staff. Take some time to go over it. Find out where each thing is. Kind of practice by having a blank staff in front of you, writing down where you think things are, and have this for a reference. Thank you all for watching Music Theory Corner. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And here's a cute picture of a turtle. No, not that one. That one.